Cowboys Nation, today we gather with heavy hearts, and this is not the kind of video we usually make. We talk about games, strategies, and highlights, but today, the conversation is different. Today, it's about loss, about the human side of football, and about a young man whose life ended far too soon. Marshawn Nelland, a talented player for the Dallas Cowboys, was found deceased after a tragic sequence of events that shook not only his team, but the entire community surrounding America's team. This is the kind of moment that reminds us that athletes are more than just players on a field. They are sons, brothers, friends, and human beings with struggles that we may never fully see. Earlier this week, authorities in Frisco, Texas, responded to reports involving Nelland and a vehicle pursuit that ultimately ended in tragedy. Details released indicate that after losing sight of the vehicle, officers located it moments later crashed along the southbound lanes of Dallas Parkway near Warren Parkway. What followed was a desperate search for Nelland himself, who had left the scene on foot. Police deployed canine units and drones in the effort to locate him. But tragically, Nelland was found deceased from what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. It is a heartbreaking situation that underscores the immense pressures and unseen battles that even professional athletes face. Marshawn's family shared a statement that has touched the hearts of fans and teammates alike. They described him as a devoted son, brother, uncle, cousin, nephew, grandson, and friend, someone whose spirit and kindness left an imprint on everyone who knew him. On the field, he was a rising talent, making his mark with the Cowboys, and off the field, he was a source of love, compassion, and unwavering loyalty. The family's words emphasize that his light shone brightly in every life he touched, and that his memory would live on through the countless hearts he inspired. The grief is profound, but it is accompanied by an outpouring of support from friends, family, and the wider community, all standing together to honor Marshawn's life and legacy. The Dallas Cowboys organization issued a statement early this morning expressing their deep sadness over the loss of Marshawn Nelland. They highlighted the impact he had as both a teammate and as a person, and extended thoughts and prayers to his girlfriend, family, and close friends. In moments like this, the bond within a team becomes more than strategy and performance. It becomes a network of support, a way to lean on one another during unimaginable pain. The NFL Players Association also shared condolences, noting how profound the loss is across the football community and emphasizing the availability of wellness resources for players coping with grief. For many on the Cowboys roster, this tragedy hits particularly close to home. Players like Dak Prescott and Solomon Thomas have experienced similar personal losses, and their efforts through foundations and outreach speak to the ways in which football players often become pillars of support both on and off the field. Today, the focus is not on highlights or statistics, but on care, empathy, and making sure that those affected have the resources and support they need. Social media has seen brief acknowledgments from teammates, fans, and supporters, a small glimpse into the broader sense of heartbreak that reverberates throughout the community. It is impossible to overstate the duality of being a professional athlete in moments like this. On one hand, you have the public spotlight, expectations of performance, and a schedule that moves relentlessly forward. On the other hand, you are confronted with grief, mental health struggles, and the weight of losing someone close. For Marshawn, the world saw the player, but those closest to him knew the complexity of his life, his passions, and his struggles. The tragedy of his passing reminds us that athletes are human, that even those who appear strong and capable face battles we cannot always see, and that compassion and vigilance are essential for everyone, inside and outside the game. Marshawn's story is a stark reminder that support networks matter, that reaching out, checking in on friends, and being present can make a difference in ways that may not always be visible. It is also a moment for reflection within the Cowboys organization, the NFL community, and among fans everywhere. Beyond the plays, beyond the excitement of Sundays, there is a human reality that sometimes goes unnoticed. The response from teammates, coaches, and the broader community has emphasized care, understanding, and remembrance, an effort to honor Marshawn not just as a player, but as a young man who left a mark on everyone around him. In times like this, it is natural for the conversation to shift from the thrill of football to the weight of loss. Fans, players, and staff alike are grappling with questions that cannot be answered easily, trying to reconcile the joy of the game with the sorrow of life's unpredictability. Statements from the family, the Cowboys, and the NFL all converge on a single truth. Marshawn Nelland mattered deeply to those around him. He was valued, loved, and admired, and though his time was tragically cut short, the legacy he leaves behind is enduring. This situation also brings to light the ongoing conversation about mental health in professional sports. While there has been increasing awareness and support over recent years, the reality is that struggles like Marshawn's are still present and often hidden. Teams, associations, and organizations continue to emphasize the importance of wellness resources, encouraging players and the public to seek help, to lean on each other, and to be proactive in looking out for one another. Awareness is crucial, and in moments like this, the message is stark and clear. No one is alone, and help is always available. As the Cowboys community processes this tragedy, the focus remains on honoring Marshawn's life, supporting those affected, and carrying forward the lessons of empathy, vigilance, and love. From the locker room to the stands, from teammates to fans, this is a time for connection, for reflection, and for acknowledging the human side of the sport we all love. Football has always been more than a game. It is a community, and in moments like this, that community shows its true colors, coming together in grief, in remembrance, and in solidarity. The legacy of Marshawn Nelland will not be measured solely in tackles, plays, or statistics. It will be remembered in the hearts he touched, the lives he influenced, and the awareness his passing has brought to the importance of mental health, care, and compassion in the world of sports. As we navigate the impact of this loss, it is essential to remember the message that emerges from the tragedy. Love your teammates, check in on friends, listen, and never underestimate the power of support. Every gesture matters, every conversation matters, and every life matters. As we turn our attention to Marshawn Nelland's time with the Dallas Cowboys, it's impossible not to feel the weight of what has been lost. On the field, Marshawn was a young talent whose presence brought energy, focus, and a sense of promise to the team. He was known for his determination, for the way he approached every practice, every drill, and every game with a seriousness that was inspiring to both teammates and coaches. Yet, even as fans admired his skill and his potential to make an impact on the field, those closest to him knew the depth of his character. Someone who cared deeply for the people around him, who was willing to go out of his way to support friends, and who carried a sense of humility that is rare even among professional athletes. The locker room atmosphere after a tragedy like this is something difficult to put into words. Teammates who shared drills, meetings, and locker-side conversations are now confronted with the absence of someone who was part of their daily lives. Coaches have the delicate balance of guiding their players, maintaining focus on the game, and providing space for grief. It's a reminder that football, as much as it is a sport, is also a network of relationships, bonds, and shared experiences that go beyond the physical game. Players are not simply athletes. They're humans navigating pressures that are intense, both in the public eye and in their private struggles. For the Dallas Cowboys as an organization, this is a moment of reckoning. Beyond the schedule, the practices, and the strategy sessions, there is now a responsibility to ensure that support systems are not only available but actively used. Mental health professionals, counselors, and teammates all play a role in making sure that grief and trauma are acknowledged and addressed. The NFL has resources in place, and the Players Association has been vocal about the need for continued wellness support. But in the wake of Marshawn's passing, the emphasis is on presence, checking in on one another, having honest conversations, and understanding that reaching out can sometimes make the difference between life and death. Marshawn's influence went beyond what you would see on television or in statistics. Teammates have spoken quietly about his work ethic, his approach to preparation, and the way he motivated others without ever needing the spotlight. He had a way of bringing energy to the group, of lifting the mood in the locker room, and of being someone that others could rely on in small but meaningful ways. It's in those moments, often unseen by fans, that the full impact of a player's presence is felt. Losing someone like Marzhan is not just losing a player on the roster. It's losing a part of the team's heartbeat, a presence that cannot simply be replaced. Fans, too, are feeling this loss. The Dallas Cowboys fan base is passionate, loyal, and deeply connected to the players on the field, but tragedies like this remind everyone that athletes are more than their performances. Fans who have cheered for Marzhan, followed his highlights, and celebrated his achievements are now grappling with grief, realizing that the person they admired in uniform was also a young man facing struggles that were invisible to the public eye. The collective sense of sorrow extends beyond the organization. It reaches the stands, the online community, and everyone who has ever felt a connection to Marzhan's journey. It's also a moment to reflect on the culture of football itself, where toughness is often celebrated and vulnerability is hidden. Marzhan's passing highlights the critical importance of creating an environment where players can express struggles without fear, where seeking help is normalized, and where mental health is given the same priority as physical health. The conversations sparked by this tragedy have already begun to influence the way the Cowboys, and perhaps the wider NFL community, approach the support of athletes, emphasizing empathy, awareness, and proactive care. Beyond the immediate grief, there is a legacy that Marzhan leaves behind, a reminder of how interconnected the football world is and how each individual contributes to the fabric of a team. From rookies to veterans, coaches to staff, the presence of one person can shape culture, morale, and the emotional strength of a group. His life may have been brief, but it was impactful, and the lessons from his passing resonate far beyond the field. Encouraging players to look out for one another, to speak openly about mental health, and to foster an environment of care may be one of the most important ways his memory continues to influence the Cowboys organization. It's also important to consider how this tragedy touches the personal lives of his teammates. Close friends within the team, veterans who have been mentors, and younger players just starting their careers are all facing a reality they were not prepared for. Grief is never linear, and in a team setting, it is compounded by the constant forward motion of schedules, games, and public attention. Coaches and staff are challenged with balancing compassion with professionalism, ensuring that players have the space to process their emotions while also maintaining focus on their responsibilities. This is no small task, and it speaks to the humanity that underlies professional sports, a world that can often seem solely focused on performance, wins, and losses. Fans watching at home, whether in stadiums or online, can also feel the emotional weight of the moment. Marzhan was not just a name on a roster. He represented hope, dedication, and the dream of achieving greatness on one of the biggest stages in American sports. The tragedy reminds us all that life is fragile, and that even those who appear strongest are susceptible to invisible struggles. It emphasizes the importance of connection, communication, and support, not just for athletes, but for everyone. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In what could be the most unexpected move of the NFL season, the Dallas Cowboys have reportedly stunned fans across the United States with whispers that they are eyeing none other than Australian-born kicker SAM FICKEN from the Detroit Lions. Sources close to the Cowboys front office suggest that talks have been quietly underway, fueling a frenzy of speculation among fans and analysts alike. FICKEN, who has carved out a reputation as a reliable and clutch performer in Detroit, is suddenly at the center of a storm of rumors that could see him swapping the Motor City for Texas. Known for his calm under pressure and impressive leg strength, the Australian star has long been admired for his ability to deliver when it counts, and insiders hint that the Cowboys see him as the missing piece to solidify their special teams. The NFL community is buzzing with questions. Is this a strategic move to boost Dallas's playoff hopes, or merely a tactical ploy to shake up Detroit's roster? Some analysts argue that the Cowboys' interest in FICKEN reflects a growing trend of teams looking beyond traditional pipelines for talent, embracing international players who bring unique skills and experiences to the field. Others caution that nothing is set in stone, pointing out that contract negotiations, salary cap constraints, and team dynamics could easily derail the deal. Social media has lit up with fans weighing in, with Cowboys supporters celebrating the potential acquisition and Lions faithful bracing for what could be a shocking loss. If the transfer happens, it would mark one of the rare instances in recent memory of a high-profile kicker being courted so publicly, turning what is often a quiet position into headline news. While both franchises have remained tight-lipped officially, the rumor mill shows no signs of slowing down. Pundits are already speculating on how Ficken would fit into Dallas's offensive scheme and whether his Australian roots could herald a new era of international stars in the NFL. For now, the sports world waits with bated breath, eager to see if this tantalizing rumor will transform into one of the season's most dramatic moves. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.